All right, it says we are now live streaming on YouTube. Let me get over here and just make sure that I turn the volume down for you guys in the YouTube arena. Let's turn that off and go back to our main screen. Fantastic. So welcome to the Mañana No Mas morning check-in. Layout is a little bit different today. I set up the workspace so that I could do a podcast interview with Stacey Rasky. And man, this fly is killing me. Okay, transparency moment. The whole time I'm interviewing Stacey Rasky, I got a fly in the workspace, just buzzing around a couple times. I could feel the little wind come across my skin on the top of my scalp. And I thought to myself, do not pull a Mike Pence. Do not get that fly stuck on the top of your head. That's all I could think about. Not all I could think about, because interviewing Stacey is totally dynamic. But, it's like, fly's killing me. And now I'm making this, and he's still buzzing around. They're only supposed to live for like a week or so. I wish this guy would hurry up and die. But hey, let's talk about the success of today. Now, I've already told you for a couple of days, and I'm going to come over here and grab it. I made the commitment to start jumping in on something that Dan with the SAS Academy gave me, right? This is the 5-minute journal. The 5-minute journal is a simple tool. It really just breaks down, the day into a morning session and a night session. So you see a light, there goes that fly. You see a light session and a dark session. You fill it in the morning, you fill it in at night. You do this daily. And it asks you things like, I'm grateful for, and you fill in a few things. And it says, what would make today great? And you fill in a few things. And it says daily affirmations, as in, I believe I'm a person of influence. So I don't write, I believe, I write, I am a person of influence, right? But it's whatever is your affirmation, right? And then at the end of the day, you say, what are 3 amazing things that happened today? Well, one of my amazing things is going to be a kick-ass interview with Stacey Rasky. I'm really excited about it. And then, how could I have made today even better? Well, let me put this back. If you were kind of tuned in this morning, you would have seen me go through multiple setups in the YouTube live arena. And what I was doing was testing a new camera. So I put up a new camera with one piece of equipment. I put up a second camera with a second piece of equipment. And then I went from the stand microphone, like, hey, babe, we'll be back to pick you up later. I went from that microphone. Remember the Mr. Microphone commercials? Old people, raise your hands, old people. And then I went to this lav mic, which I probably shouldn't have just put my finger on. But I went to the lav mic, and so I tested that. And so if you were tuned in this morning, you were probably like, what in the world is Kurt doing? Well, I wanted to set up the area so that I could feel free to walk around and move and interview Stacey dynamically and really focus on I wanted to set up the equipment so I could focus on being me rather than focus on, am I sitting the right way? Am I, is the microphone in the right position? Am I too close? Am I too far? I wanted to have consistent audio, hence the lav mic. And I wanted to be able to move freely if I wanted to while interviewing somebody. And, some people might say, hey, that's a distraction. I don't want someone moving around while I'm being interviewed. But the other side of the coin is I want to be my authentic self. Like I want to represent Mañana No Mas as Mañana No Mas, not as Mañana No Mas being somebody else, right? And so that was that. So I set up the whole shop, got everything all ready to go, wore the Mañana No Mas shirt like I like to do for the podcasts. And then, man, I had a great interview with Stacey Rasky. So Rasky is Raske, Raske. And she is a wonderful individual. So, every now and then you come across somebody that you meet in a Facebook group or a LinkedIn group or through association, and you think to yourself, this is somebody I want to stay in touch with. This is somebody that I believe I could add value to, but they can also add value to me. And you'll hear in the podcast, right? I assume if you're watching these that you'll actually listen to the podcast. But so if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear her say, part of her coaching these alpha women is to make sure that these women are open to receive, right? Don't worry so much about being the leader all the time. I mean, be open to receive as well. And so that to me is one of those things. Like when I form these relationships that I've formed, especially over the last year, I think about the communication I've had with Andrew Eggleton, again, Greg Kettner, again, Jake Ballantyne, his brother, right? And then, gosh, Tim Morgan. I'm trying to pull names out of head. Gosh, why I'm having a brain fart on one of them. I hate when that happens. But anyway, I've got these people that I can go to or gain feedback from. Tammy Joy, oh my goodness. Tammy Joy is someone that really jumps off the page to me as someone that is a good sounding board, right? She's someone that I can depend on to give me some feedback. And we are on two very different channels as individuals. And I think that's important. You know, if I were to line up a group of, a board of directors and everybody was the same, we wouldn't accomplish much, right? We'd all be focused on the same things. And so the inner circle, man, the law of the inner circle, I'm having a John Maxwell morning. So if you think about the law of the inner circle, you want to make sure that you add a little diversity to that circle. So, knowing that, maybe someone comes from an artist perspective, someone comes from a statistics perspective, someone comes from a narrative story perspective, and someone is more factual and bullet point oriented, right? If you gain people of these different personality styles together, you'll come up with hopefully a winning team. And so, to me, it's not so much about, oh, I've got so many women and so many Black people and so many Hispanics and so many white people. Because if we do that, we still leave ourselves open to the concept that we're bringing in people of same personality types, right? This idea that a Black person is a Black person and a white dude's a white dude and a chick is a chick, that to me is more insulting than almost any narrative that we've put out lately. People are people, and they are responsible for their own personality types, their own triggers, their own things that cause them to make decisions and provide input in a group that adds value to others, right? So I'm always looking for that combination of people. I've had a lot of great conversations with Rod Tillery, for example, and me and Rod Tillery have a lot of the same core beliefs. I think we share the same essentials of faith and things like that. So we're very similar in this regard, but we communicate on a different level, right? Which has been really intriguing. And so again, it's adding people that complement what needs to be in the inner circle. So anyway, I had a great time. That was a long description, but talking to Stacey Rasky, it's Veterans Day. She's a veteran. I put out a sale for veterans. Basically, if you go and you type in badass woman, B is capitalized, woman is capitalized. But if you type in badass women into the coupon space in Mañana no Mas, you get to choose from any one of 18 courses in there. And it's funny, I kind of surprised her with telling her that in the podcast, but I know that she works with people at this level. I know that she is already, coaching people that have established a certain level of success. And a lot of people that listen to these types of podcasts, maybe they're thinking, oh, I could never be there. I could never do that. I could never get to those things. And I'll be honest, I've been hearing a lot lately that people, the feedback I get is, oh, wow, look at everything you do. I wish I could be as good as you. And that's very flattering. It sounds great to hear it. But realistically, the reason that I'm driven to do what I do is because you can. I want to add value to you. I want to inspire you to get to that. Listen to my last 4 Mañana no Mas morning check-ins, right? It's all about stay positive, stay energized, chase it, find a goal, chase a goal, build a staircase of milestones that you can climb, right? And so when I talk to someone like Stacey and it comes through from a different perspective, but still inspirational, and it says, we even talked about her background story, her origin story, and coming out of the military and not assimilating well and trying to do what society wants over what you want, and then really just driving yourself into a state of depression and not basically sabotaging yourself to not succeed, right? And so we had a really transparent talk about that and talk about coming out the other side of that and building up and building what you can do. And what's so interesting is her conversion was around 2015. And my big weight loss was right around 2017. And that's where things really ramped up for me. There was a certain point, and she hit on it in the podcast. I really encourage you to go see this podcast when I release it. Um, she had touched upon sabotaging once you get to a certain goal or a certain plateau, and that is exactly what I did. Here I was the North American training manager for Ducati North America. I was at the top of the food chain. I mean, when you think about the perspective that others had, right? People would go, "Oh my God, Kurt, you used to race in the MRA. You used to race with the SMRI, and now you're running the training department for Ducati North America. Oh my goodness." And so I had gotten to this level that people made the assumption for me that I had plateaued, that I'd crescendoed, that I'd gotten there, right? Like that's the story arc, or whoop, you're there. And in my mind, I knew that I wasn't there. I knew that there were more people to add value to. I knew there were personal programs I wanted to put forth. I knew that I wanted to add value to people at a level that I couldn't do being the training manager of Ducati North America. And so I don't want to say it made me miserable, because it was kind of cool having that job, and it was really cool having a corporate credit card to go eat and drink whatever you want. But I sabotaged myself in that, and I allowed that level of success to impede my future success. Meaning, I indulged, I got fat, I got lazy, I began to not perform well, and a lot of that had to do with gaining the weight and being lethargic. And I found that my sense of humor that most people really liked at the beginning had morphed into kind of a sarcasm. And when I was talking to Stacey during the interview process, I thought to myself, as she described people, getting to a plateau and then sabotaging themselves, I was like, wow, man, she hit it right on the head. The way she describes it and the way that we discussed it together, I thought that there was a really good chemistry there. And the idea that she wrote a book about the pathway to overcome that, what that pathway looked like for her, what it was like to take that trauma, put it in your back pocket, and step forward, in faith, and do something different and accomplish something. Pretty cool. I'm going on a lot about this, but that's because I'm super, super excited, right? So I was this way when I did the one with Andrew Eggleton too. So, it's like you record these, and before you publish them, you think a little bit about, could I have asked these questions differently? Did I put this person in a positive enough light? Did I help propel their message, right? Because when I have a guest on my podcast, it's not about me looking good, it's about making them shine, right? And so I was really asking myself, like, as I did the interview with her and post interview, I was like, was there anything I missed? Was there anything you wanted to do? And it was really cool. There's a limited amount of time. We could spend a week talking about, trauma buildup in life and how it affects you, and what the internal workings are, and break things down by psychology, about, what recovery looks like, and how, the 12 steps of recovery for a lot of people, right? And we could go into that. But what's cool is these podcast setups allow me to break someone down into, here's your origin story, here's what the transition was like, and then here is how we can apply, all of that experience into helping and adding value to others at the end. And so I really, really enjoyed it. It was good. It was good. It was really good. So I sound like Trump right there, right? It was good. It was good. It was really good. Really good. It was super good. It was so good. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to edit that down. I'm going to do everything I can to get that published by tonight, because I interviewed her on Veterans Day. I'd like to publish it on Veterans Day, and I set these goals for myself. And you know how I am about the goal setting thing, right? Go to the 20 courses that are in Mañana no Mas, and you'll be like, he's really about goal setting. But there goes that fly again. I'm telling you, he's out to get me. So I'll get that done for you guys. Hopefully I'll have that posted today. If not, it'll be early tomorrow. Super, super excited. And when you see that get posted, I mean, honestly, if you're someone that listens to these messages, share it, right? Put it in an email blast to somebody, put it in your friends list, share it in your messenger, on your Facebook, on your Instagram. This is one of those deals where I have, according to the demographic reporting in my podcast machine, I've got an overwhelming amount of followers that are male. And this particular podcast, she's geared towards training and coaching women, although she will coach men. Um, she's more female based in her messaging. And, I addressed it right from the beginning in the interview. I'm like, people might be confused why I asked you to do this, but I really think your message is strong. And I think male, female, old, young, people will find value in what was discussed. And that's why I'm so excited about it. So later when this gets posted, please, please, please grab the link, put it in your email, your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn. If you need artwork to share with it, just send me a message and I'll get you a picture you can use. I think it's super, super important. And then beyond that, like I said, I'm already doing a Black Friday all month sale, right? So for the entire month of November, I've got a coupon out there. I think it's Black Friday 2020. I put it up in a couple of posts. You'll see that. But that gets you 20% off on any of our courses or memberships through the month of November in the Mañana No Mas Academy. However, with Stacey Rasky's interview, I will be, it's already up, so it's not will be, I already did. I put in a coupon for badass women, right? So capital B, capital W, badass women. And that gets people access for free. And I'll put those notes into the podcast as well. So, man, it's been such an amazing week. Super, super good interview yesterday. I'll probably be contracting for a fairly large power sports company real soon. So super, super looking forward to that, right? Because that's my sweet spot. Y'all know how I feel about motorcycles and quads and ATVs, and even this one has personal watercraft and stuff. So totally, totally cool. Like, I'm really looking forward to possibly doing this. It'll involve a little bit of travel, but I don't mind traveling, especially if I'm hanging out and doing things I want to do, like talk motorcycles and quad ATVs and jet skis, right? Not jet skis, personal watercraft. And so that'll be amazing, right? If that actually comes true, that will be amazing. And then there's the software project I've been telling you guys about, and to have so much support from an inner circle. Remember I talked about the inner circle, right? But to have so much support from the inner circle that's like, holy crap, dude, I think you got something. When you have multiple people see something and go, oh, I didn't even think that's, you know what, that's cool, bro. You got something there. And then when people say, hey, can I invest in this? Those are big signs that you've done something pretty cool. And so I'm really, really excited about this. Like I said, we're going to do a proof of concept in December. We're going to do a soft rollout as an experiment in January. And if both of those projects work well, we're going to blow this thing out in February and go nuts with it. And if that all comes true, I, again, will be super, super happy. And now you take all of that and you go, okay, possible position doing something with power sports and helping a power sports manufacturer. Great. And then you say, okay, software selling, right? And doing something good. Okay, great. You go into this interview with Stacey and being able to add value to so many people with a product that, all I got to do is edit and publish today. I'm having a great week, and it's Wednesday. Like, I can't stress that enough. It's Wednesday. Remember the book, The 5-Minute Journal. I don't care how you guys do this. This one is, it's called intelligentchange.com, The 5-Minute Journal. And it's even got a support website you can go into, and it gives you hints and tips and tricks to do a journal. But if you focus on something positive in the morning and you focus on something positive before you go to sleep, the chances that you will have a more positive time while you're awake between morning and night is much greater, right? There are so many little things that can bring us down. I mean, if I stub my toe, it could ruin my day, right? If my wife looks at me weird and I take it personally, I could have a bad day. If my kids backsass me, right, I could take it personal and have a bad day. My daughter is 16 years old. How many people up there have a teenage girl in the house, right? They don't mean to be crazy. They don't mean to say weird things. They don't mean to slam the cabinets, right? But they do. Hormonally, they're not balanced. They're going through some stuff, right? And if I were to take her speech and her behavior one piece at a time and make that personal, I would have a miserable day. But I have to recognize what's actually happening. And I communicate with her. I mean, I just don't let things go unchecked, right? But I communicate with her, and we talk about development and training. And here's something really interesting. Through my example and through what I do with you folks, my daughter has become interested in, hey, what is leadership? What does leadership look like? And can I read some of these John Maxwell books? Absolutely, you can read some of these books. Here's the deal. As soon as I have enough revenue and income coming in, I'm going to certify that child as a John Maxwell speaker and trainer, period. I'm going to give her such a boost in life with that product and that knowledge in her head and the ability to command and basically manage her existence rather than her existence manage her, that she will be light years ahead of where I was growing up. See, those are the types of things, right? I did that book review on Seeing the Big Picture, right? The Kevin Cope book. I've talked about the Kevin Cope book a lot. I'm a big fan of Kevin Cope's. I think he's brilliant and he's super, super nice. She said, can I read this book, Dad? Sure, absolutely. Here's something that's interesting. She's 16. She's taking college courses, okay? She starts reading the book and she goes, Dad, I don't know what he's talking about. Would you please tell me what he's talking about? And so I said, okay, sure, let's do this. Shoot me some questions. And so she's giving me some, and I said, you know what? Let's do this. Let's schedule a meeting. Go ahead and use my Calendly, schedule a meeting with me, and we'll have a business class. We'll just do a business class. And so if she didn't get interested in Kevin Cope's book, if she didn't start to read that, she would not have come to me with questions like, Dad, what is capitalization? Dad, what are assets? Dad, what is intellectual property? Dad, what is, right? And so by her coming to me and saying, Dad, what are these 5 drivers? What do these mean? I don't know what these terms are. If that never would have happened, imagine she gets done with high school, she's taken her college courses, she goes on and she goes. And it's like people that read a Dave Ramsey book for the first time. Andrew Oakes, I'm talking to you, buddy. It's like people that read a Dave Ramsey book for the first time and they go, oh my goodness, I never knew. I never knew this. And our schools do a miserable job of this. Our schools do a great job of teaching us how to get out of school and get a job, but they don't tell us how to improve ourselves. These schools don't teach you how to balance checkbooks, how to invest, how to build wealth, how to use money as a tool, how to relieve stress in our lives. They don't give us the rules on how to be. They teach us how to go to work and join the system. And that sounds like a conspiracy theory and like some wackadoodle stuff. But here's what we can do. By allowing my daughter access to my library and to my content, and by her seeing what I do with you folks, she's begun to have an interest in, wait a minute, why do people care what my dad says? And what is he talking about? And now she is going to enter life with this knowledge that other people in her age group don't have. So when she's in a business meeting or she's in a conference room and someone says, hey, why don't we just take that extra money we got and do X, Y, and Z with it, right? She'll be able to go, whoa, 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 that's kind of a miscapitalization of funds or whatever. And then when they look at her like she's got 3 heads, she'll actually be able to explain that and say, well, if we've got extra capital, we should reinvest, or we should buy inventory, or we should pay down our principal, or we should, you know what I mean? But she will have knowledge that will make her the expert at that point in time when it's needed most. And I got to tell you, that my biggest job on earth is making sure that these 2 kids, hit society ready for it. They cook, they clean, they know how to take care of themselves. And with a little bit of prep on the inside here and a little more of that inner circle work, they're both going to be very well prepared to deal with people out there, which I think is a real missed opportunity for a lot of folks. Folks, I have taken a ton of your time. I'm super excited today. So I apologize if I was a little amped up. Maybe it's the 3 or 4 cups of coffee, but or maybe it's having to stay on my toes because this fly keeps buzzing me. But I love you guys. I want to make sure I give you my best every time I sign in here. I want to make sure that you come away with some kind of value. And Tammy, if you're watching this, I got the message. Thank you so much. That's probably loud. I just tapped on the microphone. Thank you for sending that. You know, it might have been 30 seconds of your morning to type out that message, but that message is something that will resonate with me for the day, if not multiple days, if not a week. Any kind of feedback about the communication or inspiration or things that happen through these efforts is so welcome. You have no idea, because you put a lot of time and effort into making this stuff. You want to make sure that people are finding value in it. And Tammy, I really appreciate that you took the time to send that to me. Have yourself a lovely day. As I said, I love you guys. Be productive. And the Mañana no más catchphrase, right? It's getting it done yesterday, right? So don't put off till tomorrow what could be done today.